Hey everybody, it's Tim with Broken Dice bringing you a solo battle report. I got tired of my table just sitting around with no minis on it and always going someplace else to play, so I thought I'd get my stuff out and do a short little solo battle report. So let's go over the forces involved here. Since it's going to be an ambush in Iberia, obviously we have some Iberian forces. We have a general. He's on foot, has leadership of 8. Then we have a unit of Scutari, their standard size, Pilum, and then 2 more Scutari units, both with standard size with Spear. Then we have 2 Catrati units that are both small size and with Javelin. We have a medium cavalry standard size unit with Javelin, tough fighters, but I'm also using a small unit of Catrati light infantry as like a subunit with javelins. And then in the Iberian forces, we have a light cavalry unit, small size with javelin. The Roman forces have a general, he's on horse, cavalry, leadership of 9. Then we have some allied Scutari, standard size, spear. I've got to put spear down on the slide here. Then we have some veteran legionaries. They're elite, a small unit, pilum, sword. And then we have 3 more legionary units, but all small unit, pilum, sword. And then we have a unit of Gaelic medium cavalry. They will, as I go through the video, I call them the Roman cavalry, but they're Gaelic medium cavalry, javelin, tough fighters. And then we ended up with a small unit of slingers. All right, the Roman column moves off. They're moving down a wooded valley. Unknown to the Romans, local tribes are about to act. Okay, from both sides of the hills, they come screaming down and make contact all along the line. The rolls were just excellent for the Iberian forces. I'll just let you know that. Oh, the poor slingers, without any time to even ready their slings, they got hammered by the light cavalry of the Iberians, and they just fled the field. They weren't able to do anything in return. It just failed their break test. They were just done. One thing I did do that I shouldn't have done is this light cavalry unit should not have did an overrun, which I did, but there's no screenshot of it. If you look just to the top of the screen, that's the rear unit of the Roman allied Scutari. They, because of the proximity rule, should have turned to face them and not done their sweeping advance. Okay, moving on up. So here we have that same allied Scutari unit attacked on both sides by both enemy Scutari and enemy Catrati, and they hold their ground. They take no damage, and they were able to inflict a little bit, but nothing drastic happened. Moving on, okay, the Roman cohort, the one with the blue plumes right in front of us, it's attacked on both sides. But unlike the allied cavalry, the allied Scutari, they couldn't do any damage. They took 3 damage, attacked on both sides. They failed their break test, and with nowhere to run, they're cut down to a man. Moving on up the line. Now, this enemy Scutari unit is charged into 2 cohorts at the same time. This is not good. It was just the way it lined up, because in the first turn, the Romans had moved out, and they had moved further that first turn. They moved a total of 3 moves, so that kind of set everything off. And then when I rolled to see what if the ambush, I did like a leadership roll to see if the ambush would be held back or take off at the time at the Iberians' first turn, and it went off as the Iberians' first turn. So ideally for the Iberians, it would have been wiser to not have launched their attack so prematurely, but that's the way of the dice. All right. In this combat, though, um, the Scutari that charged in, they took 3 damage. They only inflicted 1, but fortunate for them, they passed their break test with a 12, I believe it was, and yeah, that's what it is in my notes, a 12, and so that became a 9. So they held their ground with no penalty, but we'll see how the Roman turn next turn. Okay, moving on up the line, another Scutari unit charged into the veteran cohort, but both sides failed to inflict any damage on either one. So it was, nothing happened here. I was surprised. I thought at least the veterans would have been able to at least do some damage to them, but nope, not what happened. Okay, out front, leading off the column was the Roman cavalry. Fortunate for them that cavalry can turn and if they're not engaged already, they can turn and face a charge. Well, they had time to do that, but the Iberian cavalry charged in, and I'm using something I haven't done before, and I put a subunit of Catrate with them, just in case it gets hung up in a big combat, and so they can have like a flanking unit with them. But it was not needed. The Iberians just swooped in. They did 6 damage to the Roman cavalry. The Roman cavalry only did 3 back. The Romans lost 1. They become disordered because they took 6 damage in this one turn, and then they failed their break test which was at a -3, and that they're disordered, so it was a long shot anyway. It was a really low roll to begin with, and they break from the field, and they are not to be seen again. And that's where the first turn ends. Now, due to the proximity rule, just like with the light cavalry on the other end of the column, these 2 units have to turn and face the head of the column now, where that veteran cohort is, due to the proximity rule. So that brings us to the end of this first turn of a solo battle report. Hope you enjoy it. It's going to get real interesting real quick. Hopefully the Romans will be able to turn the tables on them, but we'll see. Might have to do an ongoing couple of battles to bring out the entire Roman division, Roman legion, and some allies for them, and see if we can't get a big battle, and I'll get one of my buddies to come over, and we'll fight that one out on the table. Everybody stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you next time.